The early ideas for lightsabers in the Star Wars universe is far different than what we ultimately got in the movies. The original concept as described by George Lucas is that the lightsaber was actually a weapon that was very commonplace in the Star Wars galaxy. Therefore, why we see various concept art of the very early Star Wars designs with clone troopers wielding lightsabers, as it was revealed that a lightsaber was almost as common as something like a blaster, especially within the Empire, and that all stormtroopers were issued a white lightsaber while Darth Vader had a blue lightsaber. Again, with this being the original concept and idea that George Lucas had for lightsabers in the Star Wars universe. The point I'm trying to make here is the idea of stormtroopers wielding lightsabers was a very early concept by George Lucas, although as we know, it was ultimately developed that a lightsaber is an extremely rare weapon that mostly only Force wielders are capable of using effectively in combat. However, this is not the last that we would see of a stormtrooper wielding lightsabers in Star Wars Legends. In Star Wars Legends, there was a squad of stormtroopers that were actually Force sensitive and clones themselves that used lightsabers, and were directly trained under Darth Vader by command of Darth Sidious himself, an elite squad of stormtroopers known as the QS clones, and today we'll be making an updated video on their history and what ultimately happened to all of them. After the rise of the Empire and destruction of the Jedi Order, Emperor Palpatine wanted to make a drastic change to the clone troopers that were now serving as stormtroopers. Palpatine wanted to fulfill his wish of a dark side acolyte army loyal completely to him, but he did not want to go through the troubles of seeking out all of the Force sensitives in the galaxy that he believed he could turn to the dark side of the Force, and instead wanted to take a dark Jedi and clone them and create an army of clones that were entirely Force sensitive, making it nearly impossible for Palpatine's empire to ever be crumbled by a newly formed Jedi or Force sensitive order. In order to achieve this though, Palpatine needed to have the perfect clone template, and a clone trooper that would be completely loyal to only Palpatine. The first individual that came to his mind was of course Darth Vader, but Darth Vader was far too unstable to be cloned, and an army of Vaders would be a complete nightmare for Darth Sidious. Darth Sidious needed to find someone that he could control, someone that he could overpower at a moment's notice, but still someone that was powerful enough to lead an army. This is when Sidious called upon one of his most loyal dark side acolytes and dark Jedi under his command, a dark Jedi named Saw Qus, and in order to prove his loyalty to Palpatine, he gave Saw Qus an impossible task. For the first few years of the Empire, Saw Qus was tasked with hunting down remaining Jedi that were not powerful enough to concern Darth Vader, and he had been extremely successful at this. However, the order that Palpatine gave Saw Qus was to hunt down and assassinate Darth Vader himself, something that Palpatine knew would be an impossible task for Saw Qus, and that he would most definitely die in the process. But still, even though Saw Qus knew he would die at the hand of the Dark Lord of the Sith, Palpatine knew that if he actually went to kill Darth Vader, he had found the perfect clone template, as above anything, Saw Qus would give his life to follow the command of the Emperor. In the end, Saw Qus did attempt to assassinate Darth Vader, but he was utterly outmatched by Force potential by the Dark Lord of the Sith, as Saw was merely a dark Jedi, while Darth Vader was a Dark Lord of the Sith, and assistant and apprentice to the most powerful Sith Lord that had ever lived. Saw Qus was impressive in his battle against Darth Vader, but again in the end, Vader was simply too much for the Dark Jedi. Using his superior strength and skill in lightsaber combat, Darth Vader quickly disarmed Saw Qus, pushing him into a wall. Vader then used his power of Force Choke to choke the Dark Jedi, asking him who sent him to kill the Dark Lord of the Sith, as they both served the same master. Still though, Saw Qus refused to tell Vader who had sent him to assassinate the Dark Lord. Ironically though, Darth Vader knew full well who had sent Saw Qus, and even he understood what Palpatine was doing. Palpatine was searching for the perfect clone template, and Darth Vader knew he had found it. Impressed with Saw Qus' loyalty only to Palpatine, Darth Vader allowed him to live, but only for a short time. Only long enough for Darth Vader to take the swab from Saw Qus' mouth and allow the cloning template to begin. Just before Darth Vader killed him though, he offered him one more chance to reveal who had sent him to assassinate Vader. But still though, despite knowing that he would full well die either way, Saw Qus did not reveal who his true master was. Darth Vader then made his promise true and decapitated the Dark Jedi, realizing still that Palpatine had found the perfect cloning template for his Force-sensitive army. His clones won't have his memories, but I'm confident they'll have the same courage and loyalty, and their ideals will simply be the ones I provide to them. Loyalty to the Emperor, and his force powers will be exceptionally valuable in the field. Tomorrow, we will finish the story of Saw Qus and his force-sensitive clone troopers that were taken from his very DNA. We will explain what their ultimate fate was, as well as how Darth Vader trained them and ultimately turned on the force-sensitive clones. As always though, my friends, thank you guys so much for watching this video. May the force be with you, and have a great day. Stay tuned tomorrow for part 2. Before you go, be sure to check out my other channel, The Marvelous Wave, where we talk all about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, including news, breakdowns, and theories about all upcoming and past Marvel movies. Link to the channel is in the description below.